Today we're going to start a three-part series on paint for your guitar. So we'll start with everyone's favorite, nitrocellulose lacquer. Is it the best finish that you can put on your guitar? What is it made of? How does it work? Stick around. Let's get nerdy. If you're a guitar player and you've frequented any kind of forums over the last, say, 25 years or so, in general been on the internet, then you'll most likely have heard the term nitrocellulose lacquer. Nitrocellulose lacquer, or nitro, as you'll most commonly hear it called, has been a very popular finish ever since its inception in the early 1900s. What is nitrocellulose? Cellulose comes from the cell wall of green plants. It's the most abundant organic polymer on the planet. Let's go back to 1855 when a guy named Alexander Parks takes cellulose and mixes it with citric acid as well as some other solvents to create the first human-made plastic. Remember that, plastic. That's what nitrocellulose is. The process for nitrating the cellulose is very close to the process for creating trinitrotoluene, or TNT. 1921 rolls around, and a DuPont employee named Edmund Flaherty mixes the nitrocellulose with several solvents like naphtha, xylene, toluene, butyl acetate, ketones, and turns this into a liquid, something that can be used as a coating. Paint. Edmund created nitrocellulose lacquer. Nitro lacquer proves to be pretty economical whenever trying to apply it to cars, musical instruments, and not just guitars, stringed instrument families, as well as brass instruments. It dries quickly, it dries hard, and it polishes very, very well. It's also really, really easy to repair. Now, remember when I said that nitrocellulose was a plastic? So what we've done then is we've melted that plastic down into a bunch of solvent to keep it a liquid so that we can then shoot it out of a spray gun, like this, to atomize it. I'll talk more in a video about how spray guns work real soon. When the coating hits, then all of the solvents gas off and we're left with this plastic. Because of all of those solvents that melt the plastic, well, they're present again whenever you shoot a new coat on. So what happens is it creates a chemical bond. As those solvents hit the coating that's already on there, then it melts that and allows the new plastic to melt and bond and basically create one coating. It's that chemical bond that allows for great adhesion and ease of repair. I told you it was economical, it dries fast, it repairs easily, it sands pretty well after a few weeks and it has enough time to dry and harden, and it polishes really well. Does it have some drawbacks? Sure does. Some really common drawbacks to nitro lacquer: as it gases off and it dries and it continues to shrink, it eventually will crack. So if you're shooting for a clean finish that is really, really pretty, nitrocellulose is really hard to do that with. It also discolors over time. Have you ever seen a Gibson guitar that's painted in Pelham blue from the 60s? When you think Pelham blue, that's green. It's only green because the lacquer top coat is yellowed. Even though lacquer does dry quickly and it is a hard finish, it's not super hard. It scratches pretty easily and it chips just as easy. Over the years, over internet forums and countless discussions, we've created an almost mythical aura around nitrocellulose lacquer, like it has magical properties or something. Some common misconceptions are it will allow your guitar to breathe. Many folks have heard me say this. Let me be very clear. Remember, I said that nitrocellulose is a plastic. It is a coating. That means there's no way it will allow something to breathe. We're shooting it on something that's a dead plant. I used to tell students that if I would hose them down in nitrocellulose lacquer, their skin couldn't breathe and they would die. Maybe a bit harsh. Another huge misconception about nitrocellulose lacquer is that it's thinner. People think this because vintage guitars have really thin nitrocellulose finishes. It's not because they put it on really thin or that the finish itself is thin. It's that over the years, remember what I told you, it gases off and it shrinks. As it shrinks, it gets thinner. That thin finish is what you really want, because it's not to allow the guitar to breathe, it's to allow the guitar to vibrate. If it has a huge thick coating on it, it can't vibrate. Then there's the topic of plasticizers. You hear, lacquer today has way too much plasticizer in it, or it feels really plasticky because of all the plasticizer that's in it. Well, you're kind of not getting the whole picture here. Plasticizer isn't adding plastic. What it's doing is it's breaking down that polymer in such a way so that it doesn't become so brittle. What it's really doing, it's allowing the lacquer to be a little bit more flexible. It helps to prolong the inevitable checking and cracking. Over the years, we've used several different things as a plasticizer for nitrocellulose in order to keep it a little bit more malleable and flexible. Everything from phthalic acid esters like dibutyl phthalate, phosphoric acid esters like tricresyl phosphate. There are other esters like triacetin and diethylene glycol dinitrate. A more eco-friendly version of a plasticizer would be a citrate plasticizer like tributyl citrate. Nitroglycerin has even been used as a plasticizer in nitro lacquer. This is what nitrocellulose looks like. This is about 10 ounces. Even in the cup, it's not completely clear. As you can see, it's kind of looks like a sample of something, if you know what I mean. This particular 10 ounces has very little plasticizer in it. It's the same stuff that we use at Novo. It's the same stuff that you see on a handful of other guitar companies out there that do an aged, distressed relic, however you want to say it, finish. Here's to you. Just kidding. So is nitrocellulose the best finish out there? I don't know. It's a really great one. It's a finish. Is it the best one? All depends on your application and what you're actually going for. I'm going to cover two other types of finishes, both polys, polyurethane and polyester. They are not the same. When we get to the end of those three, then make a decision. I'm also going to toss in a couple of extra as honorable mentions. So next video, polyurethane. Until then, don't do anything weird. It's good to see you guys again. I'll see you next week.